Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to chatting about planners and all things stationery. So today is a very exciting video that many of you have been waiting for. Today we're going to be chatting about my 2024 full planner lineup. So I'm going to include a little bit of journals into the mix as well, just because not really much has changed within that. But before I do that, if this is the first time that we're meeting, well, hello, how are you? My name is Meshi and I'm the person behind Align Plans. We chat a couple of times a week on this channel and we kind of go into anything and everything, minimalist planning, journaling, and stationery. So if you love all of those things, definitely consider subscribing and hanging out with me here. So here's the thing. What I would like to do first, and I'm going to leave timestamp in the description and probably in the comment section as well. We're going to kind of take a look at what my system was for 2023, and then I will shift you into what I'm actually changing and why. So, and I will kind of go into each of the planners that I'm choosing to keep, and then the ones that I'm kind of letting go of. So just definitely check the timestamp for that. So the first thing that I would like to kind of do, let me just move everything out of the way, is we will just kind of chat about like what my system was for 2023. Some of you already kind of know, but I did make a shift around the summertime and I'll explain why. So first, initially, I set up both my VDS planner. So this is my little minimalist ring planner here. The only thing that I ended up changing for this year is the size, because if you remember from 2022, I had this really beautiful ring planner and it was filled with all cloth and paper inserts along with some of the other shops, but it was like its main purpose was like that was like my main planner. So I switched over to a personal size, which I'm happy to report I really still love this. And eventually I just added in some finance inserts as well as a weekly layout. So the weekly inserts are from Notiq, and then I added some dailies, and then the dailies are all blank basically. So I have some blank ones going on here and some note paper. So not a ton going on in this one. I ended up switching this from my main planner to basically just like halfway through the year, I switched this to become more my work planner, so that in case like I can like write in my schedule and any quick little reminders that are happening. And I think for that, this size is still working. I don't think I'm going to be using this to the capacity that I was using it this year, but I kind of like that involvement, and I do like the rings. I do find, especially when it comes to finances, it's really nice to kind of keep things separate. So I don't see that really changing too much. In fact, I already have most of my inserts that are coming in from various shops over the Black Friday sale. So we will do a part 2 of this setup in a separate video because I didn't want to make this super long. But this is definitely staying and it was working really well for me. Let's talk about, I want to get some of them out of the way. So let me talk about the A5 Hobonichi. So I set this up initially. I thought that this would be like my little day-to-day planner initially. And then I just didn't use it for that purpose. But see, like at the very beginning, it was like super functional. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it. So it was set up as like super functional and let's do minimalist planning, very like bullet journaling. And then eventually it fell off because I just found it to be kind of redundant. And I ended up using this mainly for like swatching inks, which if you've seen any of my inking videos, you already know I do that quite often. Along with, I ended up basically just using this about midway through the year as like a bookish journal. So it's more about, I think I started this around here. So I wouldn't do that every single day, but whenever I would start reading, then I would kind of just write in like little inserts of, you know, what books I'm reading and then how's that going and which ones I finished. So I was kind of keeping up with that for quite some time actually. And then I just kind of fell off because I just found that with this little guy, I really don't have like a specific purpose for it. And I just found it to be kind of a hassle to even maintaining it. So I think that some of my last inserts or my last entries are actually here for November the 10th. So I did try for a little while, and then it's just, I don't know, like I just don't have like a clear purpose for it. So I didn't actually end up repurchasing this for 2024. I did enjoy it, but I don't want to keep having, and you'll see me kind of talk about this a lot, is anything that I'm like recognizing that halfway through the year is not working, I'm happy to let go of, because I just know that even though it might have been fun in the moment, but it's no longer working and it becomes a hassle to keeping up with it. So that's it on the A5. Quick little thing on the common planner. I was very excited to set this up at the beginning of the year. I thought that this would be the bee's knees. I really loved the white paper. You know, I had really like super high hopes for like the quarterly planning and everything like that. I didn't really use the perpetual calendar literally for anything. I love the size of the monthlies. Like I literally liked everything about this until about, how far? Until about like July, August. Yeah, about August. So like right around here. And it just started to feel like it's a drag. Like it started to feel like it just feels really redundant. And I was still updating it, but I really enjoyed this type of journaling a little bit more. So I've kind of converted this more into a journal where like I can go a little bit crazier on the washi tapes and on the stickers and things like that. And I really like this. I couldn't maintain it because it wasn't at the top of my mind. So instead, I would basically just use this sort of like a common planner, which is essentially like what it was actually intended for. That I would update this when I can, when I have the mental capacity. Like as you can tell, like this week, no, this was actually last week. It's not even updated, but that's okay. I do have some journal entries, which seems to be working really well for me. So I will continue on using this. I like using it for swatching inks, which if you've seen my previous video, you already know that I was using this because I like the white paper. But I really like writing like these long format journal entries instead. Like this seems to be working well for me. So for that, I will finish this. But one thing I can tell you that like super annoys me is I didn't understand when you guys were talking about like, it doesn't lay flat. And like, look, it literally, like it really doesn't. Like this part is so bulky that like writing in there with my left hand, it just doesn't work all that great. And this side is okay, but I don't know, like there's just something about it, like with the spine and the way this planner is set up, is just, I'm just not sold on it for me using this as my main planner. Even though I enjoy the size, I enjoy the experience, but by the time I'm getting it closer to the end of the booklet, it just kind of feels redundant. And I would actually end up using this more as a journal, and I don't really need another journal. So I'm actually letting go of the common planner for next year. Let's talk about these two guys. These two guys have become like my favorites. So here's the Hobonichi Weeks and here's the Hobonichi Cousin. I'll talk about the Cousin first. So with the Cousin, I didn't start this out as my main planner. I wasn't thinking that, you know, I wasn't using this as a planner. I really like it as a journal. And I mentioned this. Sometimes I do these types of crazy spreads where I just update everything. I don't place like this really high importance on the weekly because I have other weeklies that kind of keep track of the memories there. I will probably make a bigger effort on updating the weeklies. And sometimes I'm pretty consistent. Other weeks I'm just like, I just don't have the mental bandwidth for it. This spread definitely works for me. And if I'm comparing this to the common planner, that same weekly layout, I actually find that for journaling, the common planner to me, it's a little bit smaller. This is like here, I feel like I have the freedom of writing bigger if I want to. I can do large blocks. I can add larger stickers. So for me, the size for that reason absolutely works, if that makes sense. I'm up to date. How far did I make it? I mean, I'm okay, somewhat okay on. Oh, actually, I'm somewhat up to date on this. Like this is last week's. So I'm going to be making more of an effort of updating the weeklies, but really where I actually I really found myself here is on the daily pages, and I just give myself the freedom to just write. You know, sometimes I'm doing a lot of free writing, sometimes not so much. Like right now I'm somewhat up to date. Like right now I need to update obviously the weekend, so I'm a couple of days behind here. But for the most part, I'm either doing a lot of stickers and a lot of journaling, and other times I'm just like writing quite a bit. So, but I love looking back on that specific day and seeing sort of what happened. You know, like I think that there's something really beautiful about this. So I really like this for memory keeping. And last but not least, I started out with the Hobonichi Weeks as sort of like as like a work planner. I'll just update, or like maybe sometimes like using it as social media, but really it's more just like I was thinking that I would just use this because the space is so small. I was thinking that I would basically use this as planning for social, just for my work, but everything work related, when contracts are going to be up and what's changing, and mainly like writing and video ideas. That's how I would use the monthly. And then it slowly started to evolve to, like, I love like using a lot of these sticky notes, and I can really use, it's almost like I can do pre-planning a lot easier because everything becomes a lot more visual, and I don't need a large planner for that. I love the fact that it can come with me. And then the weekly is just, it's nice and consistent. What I need is in here. I don't feel like I need like this large planner for me to kind of keep track of everything. And I can kind of switch up the look. I can get creative with colors, or I can just keep it very muted. So, and then I didn't start using the notes section until later on in the year. And as soon as I did, I totally understood the hype. I just keep track of everything here, and I can kind of backtrack. And the fact that it's small and portable just makes the user friendliness of it. It's just like, I'm absolutely in love with it. So the only thing that I might change for next year, even though I have already bought my Hobonichi Weeks for 2024, the only thing I might actually change going into 2024 is I'm going to see if, as far as I remember, but please correct me in the comment section, if Hobonichi makes like a notebook as like an add-on that you can add to your Hobonichi Weeks if you didn't buy the Mega. If not, then I will just buy the Mega. But let's take a look at what is the lineup really looking like. I'm keeping it somewhat simple. As I already mentioned earlier, I'm going to be keeping the VDS planner. See how long I'm actually maintaining it. If I'm maintaining it, I'm not adding all that pressure that I have to have this. I do enjoy aspects of this. So for now, this guy is staying. And then my lineup looks really small, actually. That's it. I am planning on, well, actually, no, there's one more. So I'm keeping it small and simple and pretty. That's sort of my plan. So let's go through it in order, I guess. So for my like main planner, I suppose, the thing that replaces the Hobonichi Weeks is another Hobonichi Weeks. I bought the one with the cats in front of it that feels embroidered, and I got like a little clear cover for it. Let me see how many pages you get. Hopefully you get enough. I think that for note section, you get 70 pages. So if this does not feel like enough, then we can look into investing in the Mega, or in just a notebook that can kind of get attached to this, and then we can sort of archive it together. I love the size though. The only thing I regret about last year is that I didn't get a cover for this, but I also really love this textured feel, so it's okay. So I'm going to go with the Hobonichi Weeks. Now for my main planner, I'm so excited about this because it was hard to find. I'm going to go with Midori's Hibino. And this is, if you're not familiar, it is one day, 2 pages. And it's an A6 size, so I really love that A6 size. Now, I'm not sure if the cover that I have here, any of the, like either the plastic cover or the fabric cover would fit on this. I will have to take a look. But I really love how cute and compact and how much space you actually have for both daily journaling and any quick notes and updates and things like that. But it just feels so clean and simple. And my big goal for this going into 2024 is to keep everything streamlined and simple. And it would not surprise me if going into 2025, my setup would even more simplify. I'm not sure that we'll ever get to a point where I'm only going to have one planner, just because I do enjoy having multiple planners for multiple purposes. So, I mean, if you are a planner lover, you kind of probably relate to this as well. But I don't know, there's just something very, like, as soon as I started even prepping for filming for this video, I just got so excited because this feels so pretty to me, and it just feels very like simple and elegant and very streamlined. And so for that reason, I don't know, I think this is gonna be fun. And going in along with that, I ended up picking up the 5-year Midori journal. Again, very posh. This is a 5-year limited edition. It's so pretty, you guys. Honestly, it's just, everything just feels so elegant about this. It just feels very like, here we are, you know? So I'm excited to get started with this, and I haven't started this, and I'm planning on starting this in January. I'm not starting it earlier. Now, going with that same vibe, which, I mean, if you kind of look at everything, they're all like kind of matchy. Like, it's almost like the same color. Did we plan this? No, but that's just sort of how it happened. And then for memory keeping, I'm going to maintain the Hobonichi Hun. It looks very, very pretty. We're back in like the white Tombow River paper. It does feel thicker, I will say this. It's either that or the Midori paper is just a little bit thinner, but I feel like this will lay flat, and I feel like it's going to be fine. I might still pick up like a clear cover for this, but as far as journals are concerned, so this is, I'm planning on using this as almost like a planner, memory keeper, that type of thing. And then for day-to-day journaling, I haven't shown you this and I haven't really talked much about this, but I bought this like a little while ago. This is a notebook from Midori, and it has these little page situations going on where once you're finished writing, then you just kind of rip this off. So you always kind of know how far along you are. This is primarily, there's not much decor going on. It's just literally just me writing down anything and everything that I need to process that day. So I'm planning on continuing on doing that along with the little 5-year like short little memory keeper. And then we have like this bigger memory keeper. But this, I kind of feel like the Hobonichi Hun becomes almost like a hybrid of more journaling, memory keeping / a little bit of planning. So I can add more information and more memories in here. And I'm planning on finally diving into adding more pictures into my planners, because that's one thing that I don't know if you guys struggle with this, but I'm always so terrible at it that I either forget and I'm so grateful when I do end up doing it, but it's just, I don't know, like I just always feel like it's going to be a hassle. You know what I mean? But it's just because I know I don't have like a template set up on Canva. I already bought like the paper for the photo paper so I can make it look really great. But anyway, I haven't made it that far yet. I'm also planning on using the same cover, so I guess I don't need a plastic cover. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I might still get a plastic cover for this to cover the outside. We shall see. But this is as far as, this is all I got. That's my big lineup and my big review. Sometimes I should mention, this is just an honorable mention, sometimes I still use my little journaling situation here. I do plan on actually buying more inserts for this. Probably a monthly and a weekly, because I also maintain like, I don't know, like I still like using the traveler's notebook. I just don't use them as extensively as like that. I wouldn't consider this like my main planner or anything like that. So my plan for the traveler's notebook is to, I suppose, like I really love these types of collage type of like bigger, like more condensed spreads, like travel plans for 2023, or doing like vision boards, or like reading. So these are like more specific type of journaling versus the memory keeping that I would do in my Hobonichi Cousin. Or so I like it when you have, so this is not, I'm not planning on doing like these daily inserts. I'm planning on doing more inserts where it's like things that, you know, like things that are on my bucket list. So similar to like some of the journal prompts that you can get from like LEC. So I love that idea. And then like using like the craft paper, really adding like layering and stuff like that. So if you guys want to see more journaling type of videos from me on that, I would love to do that, especially since I just recently subscribed to the Modern Journaler, and like all of the different like collages that you can create from her kit, they're absolutely stunning. And I think that the Traveler's Notebook would be fantastic for that, because I do love this look, but I just don't use this as my day-to-day planner, nor was it intended for it. So I did enjoy it while I was using it, but now I just want to be able to kind of create like a system where I'm moving into that, using it more consistently. So hopefully that makes sense. But you know, I do have some really nice inserts that are kind of working. I also want to be able to pick, so this one is from Muji, and I want to go back to the Muji store because I started using one planner. It's like a weekly, like a blank planner, but I want to get one specific to 2024 that has both a monthly and a weekly layout in there. And I think that Muji had that with the same like layout as some of the inserts that you can put in your traveler's notebook. So that's my plans for traveler's notebook. We will chat a lot more about this because I do love the setup. It's just I'm not using it as a planner. I'm using it more as like a memory keeping fun journal. But I do see that it can be a really slippery slope to kind of walk down on the traveler's notebook, because there's so many different accessories that you can get for it that eventually it becomes more about the accessories than it does become about the planning or the journaling. Do you know what I mean? Where it becomes more of like a novelty of like, I bought the thing. And so my goal right now for next year, as you can tell, like if I'm comparing this system, for example, to like just some of the basic journals that I was naturally gravitated towards, where it's like, it's just a blank notebook and just write what you need to. So here I feel like because it's simpler, I can really process my emotions a lot more. And this is more fun journaling. So I think that there's a place for each of them within a lineup. It's just, they serve a totally different function and a totally different purpose. So this, I do it when I have time and when I feel like it and I really want to get creative. And this, I do this when really I feel like I need to really process how I feel. And that's kind of how I feel even about like the 5-year journal as well, where it's just so simple. Can you condense it into like 2 lines of like how your day was and what you really want to kind of take away from that day, so that when you look back one day or your family members look back one day, then you know, you have like this condensed memory of your, like taking that smaller snapshot of your life, you know? So that's kind of what I'm gravitating towards here. But definitely my main goal for this next coming year, as you can tell in any one of these planners, it's more just to kind of keep it simpler, more streamlined, not so much getting into this rabbit hole of having to maintain 4 or 5 different planners just for the sake of like maintaining them. Because as soon as it becomes more work, then I already know that system is not the right one for me. And that was sort of my main takeaway with this, with the Common Planner, that eventually it just felt like I was dreading using it, and I hate that feeling. I might still go back for the remainder of the year to see if there's anything left there, but I don't think so. I think I'm pretty set on how I feel about it. And I know a lot of you really love this. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you and I can have like different opinions on the same thing. But see, like, that's so my vibe. We're just like keep it very clean and simple. But then like, I want to write more. Again, it's like this ongoing internal struggle that I think many of us that use multiple different products kind of go through, just to kind of find our own style with each of these products, right? So that's how I feel about this. But it was a really pretty planner. It's just, I don't want to have to work so hard on maintaining someone else's planning style just so it achieves a certain aesthetic, you know? And honestly, the fact that like it was bulking up this much by the end, it was really annoying me. So for that reason, as much as I might still find myself coming back to a B6 size, so I love the size, but it's not enough of an enticement for me to buy another one and then come back to it for next year. So this is my full lineup. I would love to know where you're at with your setup, if you're ready to go or if you're still kind of like buying a few things here and there. So just comment below and let me know. I would love to hear from you, obviously. I wanted to thank you guys so much for, first of all, just for holding space here, just for hanging out each and every week. I so appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that, you know, Black Friday didn't murder your wallet as it did mine. But yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do. You can give it a thumbs up, you can subscribe, you can also check out the membership, see if it's in alignment, where you can get earlier access to videos, and we can kind of go more in depth with certain planner setups and things like that. I would love to create more privatized videos for you guys, where you get either an early access to a video or you get like your own deep dive planner video that's set up just for you. So check it out. Let me know if it's in alignment. But in the meanwhile, thanks so much for being here, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.